classic load balancers. So basically, classic load balancer supports TCP layer 4 and your HTTP and HTTPS. Okay, which works at layer 7. These layers you will be remembering, right? So from the OSI models, which you may have read out earlier.
Yes.
So one more thing I can say. So classic load balancer is a load balancer which distributes incoming application traffic across multiple EC2 instances in multiple availability zone. Okay. It is your old generation of load balancer. So if someone asks in an interview, you have to call this out. It's an old generation of load balancer. It simply does load balancing. Okay. And it works at layer 4 and layer 7, like TCP and HTTP and HTTPS. Health checks are TCP or HTTP based. And one more thing I can call it out is host and path based routing is not available for your classic load balancer. Okay, so it is like this. Here you have, I can say, classic load balancer, and we have the user. Okay, and at the backend you will have EC2 instances. Okay, EC2 1, or here it will be EC2 2. Okay, here the traffic will be forwarded like this, right? What we have to do, okay? Let's go to the console and let's explore this. Before exploring, what we'll have to do, we will have to create the EC2 instance, right? We should be needing to create the EC2 instance. And this EC2 instance should be running your applications. Okay, so let's try to do one thing. Here we are. And here I'll go to the instance and I will launch an instance. Okay. Here I go, I will be giving it a name as web server. I'll go here, Amazon Linux I can use. Any of the Linux flavor I can use. I don't have any problem. Instance type is t2.micro. I'm good here. I'll go here to the key pair. And okay, keep it also. I'll be using this. Existing security group I can use. Do I have anything? Yeah, I have this Linux EC2. GP2 or GP3 I can use, no problem at all. I'll go to the advanced details and I want to do certain configurations here. What I want to do, I'll go here, I'll say /bin/bash. Okay. Next, I will say yum update -y. Then I will say yum install httpd-y. Okay. I will say systemctl start httpd. Right? We already have discussed, right, in Linux about these commands. Systemctl enable httpd. Okay, and I want to, okay, what I want is, I want to make this a web server, right? So let me go here. Let me say, website free template download. Okay, I'll be going here, and any of these I can use. Maybe this one we can use. Copy link address. Okay, let me try. Although I haven't tried this. Okay, let me see. wget is installed by default or not? I'm not sure. Okay, so what we'll be doing, we'll be saying wget and we'll be downloading this. Okay, then but we will not be able to identify what will be the file name which gets downloaded here, right? Not sure if it will be spelling only or different. So let's do one thing now. Let's don't do this. Okay, we'll be doing up to here only. Okay, and what we'll be doing, we'll go here and we'll say number of instances is equal to 2. Okay, we are good. Next, what I need to do is I will be saying click and 2 instances I'll be launching with this configuration. I'll say launch instance. Here I go. Okay, so let me give it a name. Web server 1 looks good. Next one is web server 2. This is the one. Okay, here we go to 1. This is the public IP, and I will be connecting with both of these instances. SSH, auth, credentials, private key, Abdul. Okay, this is the key pair, abdul.pem. I got logged in. Appearance change bold to -user. Why we are discussing this old generation load balancer is so that you will understand the concept of the load balancer here. Okay, many of the things you will be understanding here, rest of the things you will be your doubts, or if any additional you need to know, it will get clear out in next load balancer. Okay, so it will be like that. So here I go, same key pair we can use. SU hyphen. Okay, go here. Similarly, okay. Now let's go, which we copied from here. Let's go say copy link address. Here I go. I will say wget. Okay, I'll be downloading this file. Similarly, I'll be going here. I will say wget. Will be downloading this here. It got downloaded, right? I will do ls. It is there. I will say unzip pairing.zip. Okay, it is this is spelling -html. Okay, if I could have been try to move it, I could have been moved from here. So I didn't want to do that. So that's why cd spelling -html. Here we have this data. I will be moving this data. Where? In var www html. We'll press enter. It looks fine. Similarly, here also, I will say unzip pairing.zip. We'll press enter. ls, it is there. Now I'll be saying cd. Okay, here ls. Here we have the data. I want to move everything, whatever is here, to var www html. Okay, now things are being sorted for us. So now if I just go to individual EC2 instances, right? Okay, maybe web server number 1. I go, so here I'm able to see this web server is running this particular website. You can hire freelancer here like me. Okay, it suits me. Fine. Next one is here you have this web server number 2. Here you will go, you will be accessing this, and you should be able to get the response here as well. I hope it is not HTTPS, it is there. Okay, so it means your website is running on both of these servers, or both of your EC2 instances. Okay, so one is having IP address this, second one is having IP address this. So if I just go here, it means our EC2 instances are being ready. EC2.1 and EC2.2 is ready, and application deployment is already being done. It means developer has written down their code, and that has been deployed into your EC2 instance. Any questions or doubt till here?
No, I got it.
Okay, that's good. Now moving forward. Okay, now we will move forward towards the load balancer. Here we go. Okay, we can close them out. We are not needing this. Here on the left, we have the load balancers. That is one of the important topic to understand. Here I'll be telling create load balancer. So now if I just go to the load balancer, okay, how many types of load balancer you are able to see?
3 right now.
3: application, network, and gateway load balancer. Okay, but that is not true. If you scroll down here, then here you have the classic load balancer previous generation. Okay, although there was a time when AWS brought up into their console, okay, to migrate their existing classic load balancer from here, but still they are providing this, so that is being fine. Now here I go and I will say create a classic load balancer. Okay, so here I go, I'll be giving it a name as what is the name of the site which we were using? There was some name, right? What was the name?
For which side? The side we
Yeah,
just
which we
made.
opened recently. We opened, right? Something freelancer or something else there, if I'm not wrong. Pairing, right? Okay, let's pairing. We consider this as a application deployment. Okay, so consider it this way. So pairing website. Okay, let's say production. Okay, like this. Now, like every organization is having their own naming standard, so that we are considering here. Similarly, we have tried to consider here. So now, once we are deploying the load balancer, we need to know whether that is going to be internet facing or that will be internal. Whether we want to expose it over the internet or it will be internal. Like internally, we want to get this accessed. So that's what we need to define here. So here I go next, and next is network mapping. Okay, like in which network I want to have this load balancer. Okay, so as at this moment of time, we haven't talked about the network or VPC. Okay, we are using the default one. So here also we will be using the default one. Next one is these are the availability zones and subnets. So it means in which availability zones and subnets you can keep your EC2 instances. Okay, so here I will be choosing out all of them. Okay, because in every availability zone we have one subnet. Okay, so we can have. So here see only CIDR blocks corresponding to the load balancer IP type such at least 8 available IP addresses are required for your load balancer to scale efficiently. That looks to be fine. Okay, so your availability zone, like your load balancer will support these availability zones and subnets, and your EC2 instance will also lie into this. Okay, that looks fine. Now, here we go to the security group. Okay, so here if I look into this particular diagram, here what do we need? We need to have a request into this particular port, right? So here, as this is a load balancer, your EC2 instance works at port number 80, right? And because it is a web server which we have hosted here. So here also, what do we need to do? We need to allow the port number 80 only, okay? So that our load balancer can listen at port number 80. The rest of the ports like 22, 25, there are more than 60, there are 65,000, more than 65,000 ports available, okay? As per networking standards. So not all the ports, we are just required to allow only one port that is port number 80. The rest we will be blocking them out. So here, what we'll be doing, we are filtering them out with the help of a security group. So here we have one security group and which we are required to be created. Here I'll go create a security group and I will be giving it a name. So what I want to give, I want to create, I will say load balancer security group. Okay. Description also I'm passing the same. And this is bounded to your VPC. Security groups are always bounded to your VPC only. Okay. So here I go, I will say old TCP. Okay, not old TCP, I will say HTTP. Okay. HTTP from anywhere will be allowed. HTTP means the port number 80. From anywhere will be allowed. Outbound is fine. I will say if I want to give it a tag, I can give. Not a problem. Here I go. Say create security group. So now security group is being created. Now I'll just go here. I'll refresh this. I don't need to use a default security group. And in the organization, we never have to use the default security group. Using a default security group is one of the bad decisions you have made. Okay, so you don't have to use this. So here we go, load balancer security group. Now, through security group, you created a layer. Like any request other than port 80 will come up, security group will get that blocked. Now, where this load balancer wants to listen. Okay, in security group, we can allow multiple ports as well. Okay, but where this load balancer needs to be listened. So for that, we need to define the listener. Okay, in listener, we will be defining listener protocol is your HTTP, as I told, right? Layer 4 or layer 7, like TCP or HTTP, HTTPS, right? And SSL as well. So here we will be listening to the request at HTTP port number 80 and your instance where we are forwarding the traffic. Okay, that also we need to define. That is also going to be same. So we'll be defining that will also be your HTTP. Okay, we are fine. Now, next is how it will be performing the health checks. I talked about the health checks, right? So there are health checks who will be validating whether your instance is healthy or not. Okay, so this health checks plays a vital role in the load balancer. Okay, who will be validating whether your instances are healthy or not. To do so, what we need to do, we will be clicking on here. Okay, so basically what health check will do, health check will forward the traffic at port number 80 and validate whether this particular file is available or not. If this particular file is being available and is responding, it means your EC2 instance is healthy. Okay, let's try to understand this way. So classic load balancer will forward the traffic to this EC2 instance and validate this particular file /index.html. If this particular file is available, it means your EC2 instance is healthy and it will consider it as healthy. But if your EC2 instance get hung, this file will stop responding. What will happen? This load balancer will understand, okay, this is not responding, consider this as unhealthy and forward the traffic to this particular one only. It works like this. So now here we go to advanced health check and there are a few things which we need to understand basically. What are those? Those are your response timeout. Response timeout means if load balancer forward the traffic to EC2 instance, it should receive a response in 2 seconds. Okay, here we have defined by default it is 2 seconds. If in 2 seconds your EC2 instance doesn't respond to load balancer, what it will consider? It will consider, okay, it is not responding. Okay. Now, second one is interval. So after how much interval load balancer needs to forward the traffic to the EC2 instance? Every 5 seconds. By default, it is 5 seconds. So in every 5 seconds, load balancer will forward the traffic to EC2 instance and validate whether it is healthy or not, healthy or not, healthy or not, healthy or not. Okay. So if after 5 seconds, it will forward the traffic. And if the response doesn't come up back in 2 seconds, it will consider that as unhealthy. Okay, not into the one particular interval of time, but after 2 seconds, it will consider it as a response timeout. Okay, it will forward the traffic, and after 2 seconds, if it doesn't receive the response, it will consider it as a response timeout. Next one is unhealthy threshold. Unhealthy threshold is also 2. We can change it up to 10. What does it mean? It means this load balancer forward the traffic. Okay, it didn't receive a response in 2 seconds. Okay, 2 seconds is the response timeout. It will consider, okay, this seems to be unhealthy. Now, after 5 seconds, it will wait because interval is of 5 seconds. It will forward the traffic again. Okay, and it will validate whether index.html is responding or not. If response comes in 2 seconds, it will consider that as healthy only. Okay, it will not consider as unhealthy. But if still within 2 seconds response doesn't come up, what will happen? Now it is an unhealthy threshold. Unhealthy threshold is 2. So now 2 times the timeout has happened. So it will consider your load balancer as unhealthy now. So now if it is being unhealthy, what it will do again after interval of 5 seconds. Okay, it is being unhealthy, that is fine. Again, after interval of 5 seconds, it will forward the traffic and validate with it is healthy or not. Okay, so now here, if you look into, then healthy threshold is of your 10 second. So now it will keep sending the traffic at interval of 5 seconds. Okay, after 10 times, when after 10 times, it will find, okay, the response is coming as healthy since 10 times, then it will declare this EC2 instance as healthy, and load balancer will keep forwarding the traffic to this particular one as well. Got it? With any questions?
I got it. But after trying 10 times and deciding the EC2 instance is good, then after how much time it's going to test that again?
See,
After every test?
after 10 times, it found like default is at 10 times. Okay, so maybe it got one unhealthy ones, right? So 10 times it will be forwarding the traffic at the interval of 5 seconds and validating it is healthy or not. And once it found, okay, this is healthy, then it will declare it as healthy, and new traffic, whichever is coming up, it will start forwarding to this particular one also. This is the concept.
I got the concept, right? But like it has to be checked again, right? Like
So it is already checking, right? For example, this is
after
unhealthy,
every
right?
10 seconds?
No, at
Oh,
interval is 5 seconds. After every 5 seconds, it will
all right.
forward the traffic,
Okay.
whether it is
I
healthy,
got it.
unhealthy, whatever
I
it
got
is.
it. I got it. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. So now here I go, and okay. Now here we need to add the targets. Here we should have the targets, right? So targets are EC2 instance. I'll be adding the instance. There are 2 EC2 instances which are running up. I will be adding them up. So I got them added. Okay. So these are a few attributes like closed load balancing, connection training. So these one we will be discussing out later, not at this moment of time. Okay. I will go and I will say create load balancer. Okay. So now your load balancer is getting created. So here you can see this load balancer is having your DNS name, so which you can get this accessed. Okay, and here if I scroll down, you can scroll right, then you can see state is slash. That is fine. This is the classic load balancer. This is when it got created, 6 availability zone, it supports. And here if I just go down, here we can see this is internet facing. Okay, it means it is exposed over the internet. Status is 0 because it is performing the health check at this moment of time. One thing I would like to do with the health checks. Okay, so health checks is what I want. I will click on edit, and here instead of making this healthy after 10, okay, I want to keep it to 2 or 3. Okay, so that quickly we can receive it as healthy. Okay, I don't want to wait for because 10 times it will be performing, right? 10 times at the interval of 5 seconds. So it will take 50 seconds approx. Okay, I don't want to wait for 50 seconds. I want this one to be quickly healthy. Okay, that is my ask at this moment of time, because I don't want you to keep waiting. That's fine. Now, here, if I just go 1 second. Okay, here if I just go, these are the load balancers. Okay, this is the load balancer which you can see. Now you can see status 2 of 2 instances in service. It means both of them are healthy. Earlier it was not, right? Earlier it was showing 0. Now, if you look into the listener, this is the listener. We are listening. This load balancer is listening at port number 80. Network mapping, we can see so and so availability zones and subnets are being supported. And VPC, this is the security group which is attached. Here we can see this health check settings. If we want to modify anything, we can modify accordingly and as per our need. Target instances, these 2 instances are there. Both of them are in service. Both of them are here healthy. If I talk about monitoring, here we can just go, we can see but and all hosts are healthy, unhealthy, all these data we should be able to see in a while. Next is attribute. So here there are few attributes which we can modify accordingly, although we haven't talked about this, but yeah, we'll talk. Next one is tags. If additional tags, we already have talked about the tags. Like here, we should be able to see who is the manager, who is the owner of this application or load balancers. All these things we should be able to find out here. And these tags also help us in terms of cost optimization. Okay, so or cost allocation, because within the organization also we have different departments. They have different costings. It is like this. Now here I go to the DNS name, okay, and if I just go here over the browser, if I hit it, I should be able to see the response. I'm not able to see the response. Why? Because HTTPS is there and this one is working at port number 80, so it will work on port number 80 only. Now I'm able to see, okay, response is coming up, right? We are able to see the response, right? So now how the traffic is flowing up here? The traffic is flowing from your user to the load balancer and from load balancer to your multiple EC2 instance. Okay. Any questions? Any other challenges or question? Are you able to see?
How many instances we can attach with one classic load balancer?
So many. There is no such limit which I have laid this out. Okay,
So
but you can, yeah.
is it a good
Okay.
practice to attach a lot of EC2 instances with just one balancer, or do we need to make more balancers?
You don't need na. Why do you need? Maybe one application is being running on. What do you want? At the end, you want your application to be live and up. Okay, if you will be attaching 10 EC2 instances, what is the use of it? The costing will also get included, right? So you also need to save some sort of cost. Okay, so
Yes, got it.
so uh, we design our application as per our need or by keeping the costing in mind. It is like this. So now here, if I go, I refresh this, okay, we can see this is running on the load balancer. Now what I want to do, I want to showcase to you something. What is that? I will go here and I will stop this web server 1. Okay, I want to see whether my application goes down or not, or any impact if I am able to see, and how load balancer take this up. Okay, so instance has been stopped. And here, if I just go to the load balancer, I can refresh this. Okay, that should not be a problem. This is responding me. I'll go here and I want to show you something. What is that? Here I go to the details and I can see 2 of 2 instances are in service at this moment of time. Let me refresh this. And as soon as I refresh this, let me see what I receive. See, 1 of 2 instances in service at this moment of time. Okay, if I go to the target instances, here you can see 1 instance is out of service. Okay, and here if I just go, I refresh this, see, user never knows what is happening into the backend. Okay, according to user, there is no downtime. The application is up, the application is running. There is no downtime at all. But at the backend, what we have done, the server is already into the stop state. Okay, if needing to do so, what I can do, I can bring this particular server, I can deregister this particular server. Okay, if I deregister this particular server, what can I do? I can perform the patching. I can do certain other tasks. I can do maintenance. I can do configurations. I can do deployments. So many tasks I can do. And once I am done with that, what I can do, I can go to the manage instances and I can again get this added. Okay, I can again get this added. So now I got this added, but still it is in out of service. So what I can do, I can get this service started. Although initially I should have started, then I should get this added. Okay, I did into a reverse direction, but that is fine. Okay, as it is just to understand. Okay, so initially I should start the server and then I should add here. Okay, so here we can see instance registration is still in progress. In a while, we should be able to see this is in service. Okay, now it means it is forwarding the traffic. Right, now let me do one thing. Let me try to stop this web server 02. Okay, this one is stopped. Here, if you will go, you should be able to see out of service web server 2. Okay, one or two instance in service. Refresh this. You will never come to know what is happening because load balancer will not forward the traffic to the unhealthy one. It will always forward the traffic to the instance which is running and which is healthy. Do you have any concern, any questions, or any doubts? Please let me know.
No, I got it right.
You got it? Okay, that looks fine. Now what I'll be doing, I will be stopping these instances. Okay, I will not getting them terminated. The reason is for other load balancers, I will be needing these instances. Okay, and here what I'll be doing, I will be deleting this load balancer. I don't need this load balancer basically. As part of cleanup, I will, oh, sorry. Okay, so your load balancer is deleted. Your EC2 instances are in stopped, and so that I can use these instances again. Okay, that's why I have stopped them instead of terminating. So I believe this is what it is from the load balancer class today. And tomorrow we'll be discussing about application load balancers and the network load balancer. Any questions or any doubts?
No, I think I got it right.
Okay. If